What you're seeing before you, strangely enough, has some strange reminiscences with the very first psychic fairs that I did when I was just a boy. I had a crystal ball that was made of quartz, this one's made of glass, and that was a centerpiece. I would then have my cards, I'd then have a set of rune stones, and I'd have my pendulums. I had different pendulums in those days, but this is one of the same tarot packs which I used in my early days when I was working psychic fairs all those years ago. Okay, I didn't have the wooden pentagram, but I had one of these, and that sat on my table when I was working. I did have a variety of pendulum charts, different to this one, different in design, but very similar. So some of this feels like a blast from the past with me. I didn't have an egg timer, but I had a way of timing the readings that I was doing with my clients. That's the way things were in those days, a long, long time ago. Now, I've changed an awful lot in those days, in that time, and I mean an awful lot. I've grown with my art, I've grown with how I use my pendulums, my understanding of the different designs. I've grown in my understanding of the difference between the crystal ball and the dark mirror. I've grown in my understandings of issues of faith and issues of symbolism and how they should be used, both in divination as well as in what you would call energy work, or some people call it magic. Okay? I don't tend to call myself a magician these days. I prefer the term trans-deist, actually. However, it's the same kind of thing. I ask questions. I go out after experiences. I seek those experiences, and I see what can happen. I'm just giving the cards a quick shuffle. You may be wondering, who is this card reading for? Strangely enough, it's for you. Yes, I know this is going out on recorded medium. But strangely enough, there may be a reason why you're here today, this very minute, seeing my table set up in a very similar manner to the way it was, definitely over a quarter of a century ago. For me, it is a blast from the past. Going back to this one particular tarot deck, the Celtic Tarot, I liked the imagery then. I still do like the quality of the imagery, the colours, the shapes, the flow of it all, and the way in which different spiritualities have interpreted the Celtic knotwork to mean different things over time. Okay? Spiritualities of the west, of the east, of the north and of the south. All over the world. Some of this is quite heavily laced with symbolism. And there are similarities between Celtic knotwork symbolism and other forms of symbolism that you might see in different forms and different places and different parts of the world, suggesting that it's connecting to a time when we humans perceive nature and life and time and space and experience in very different ways than we do now. Maybe 5 centuries ago, maybe 20 centuries ago, maybe even longer, maybe 30 centuries ago. Maybe there's something very ancient encoded in the symbolism here. We don't know. But as I say, this card reading is for you. A general reading. So we're going to base it very loosely on the Celtic cross spread, like my little bat. In autumn time, people had fires, and the fires would send up insects, and the insects would attract the bats, and that's why the bat is a symbol of Halloween. Not because it's spooky or scary or evil, but it's a symbol, so to speak, of campfires and communal conversations and staying warm in the darker months. So, the Celtic Tarot, the Celtic Cross. What does it mean? What's the spread about? You've been seeking balance in your life of one form or another for a long period of time. You want to be in charge of your own destiny, but you're finding it hard. There are forces around you which are very difficult. You're a very sensitive individual, even though you don't always let people know it, you keep something hidden. And at the moment, things aren't quite going according to plan. There's a sense of instability and destruction, but you know that from it, something good could still come. Some of the strain and trauma you're going through at the moment could actually do you a lot of good and could change the way in which you're seeing things and shed new light on otherwise dark subjects. But it's balance you're searching for right this very minute. You're feeling uncomfortable. Uncomfortable with yourself, maybe. Uncomfortable with life. Uncomfortable with those around you. But let's look into the past for the moment. Amongst those around you, there is a feeling of jealousy. They don't always know it, but there is a feeling of jealousy because you have a path. You have a good path, a strong path. You have experience behind you. You have wisdom and knowledge. But there is something rather contorted about some of the friendships you've got. You're questioning as to whether they're really true or whether there are people around you who just want to get something from you. You're feeling like you need to carry on moving forward. There's goals you want to get. Maybe it's to do with your well-being, maybe it's to do with your career, your finances, or maybe it's just to do with ironing out a family problem. You feel a need for a breakthrough. The anticipation of the future does imply that breakthrough is coming. The symbol of the World card of the Tarot is quite powerful. Okay? There's very many complicated spiritual and religious interpretations of it going into many different directions. It doesn't just mean one thing. But somehow a feeling of completion, a feeling of establishment in the world, a feeling of a new idea taking over and an old idea being washed away, change, to something you've always wanted to happen, something which will bring you closer to your end goal. That is therefore a happy portent for you. Right now, this very minute, a prophecy. For whoever's watching this and for whatever reason. Short term, medium term, unexpected, and long term future. Now you know the Celtic cross spread. Short-term future, power, energy, striving, but also trying to see the movement towards the things you want to achieve as being a game. You have to lighten it somehow. You have to make light of a complex subject and carry on working forward. Stave signs are often associated with fire or air, depending upon which particular theology you're listening to. But also the ancestry of the stave symbol within tarot is that of sport and recreation. The three of staves in this particular context, what I'm picking up energetically, is it's to do with the people around you, the community, the family, the friendships, the connections you've got which will help you on your journey, and the feeling of moving in the right direction. The Knight of Swords, that's different, because you're going to gain some progress and hey presto, conflict will come. But you are going to be a victor, you're going to be in charge, you're going to create a new sense of change and opportunity. But expect something of a negative force happening against you and against what it is you're trying to achieve. Don't be worried about it, because the result of that is good. When we look at the unexpected parts of the future, monetary gain signs are there, improving your well-being if you stick to the right path. That may be prophetic, but that's more to do with fatalistic forces. The anticipation of the future here is much more prophetic for you. These are to do with fatalistic forces, which may come true as a result of you listening to the message of the reading. And finally, a sign associated with conviviality and strength and stability and wealth, not quite being where you want to be, but definitely moving in the right direction with a greater feeling of happiness and being in control and getting what you want. This is for you, dear viewer. This is not for any one particular inquirer. This is just for you. Apply these signs, apply this message to your life. Think about what it's telling you. Think about getting there bit by bit and recognize that you will have your breakthrough in one form or another, and you will achieve something amazing. This is what I'm bringing to you today. A general reading with a general spread, so you understand what they're all about. An understanding of the signs for the present, the reflection upon the past, the anticipation of the future, and the fatalistic forces in the staff cards, short-term, medium-term, long-term, and unexpected. No matter who you are or how complex your situation is, with the right perseverance and the right patience for the results, you'll get there. But patience plus perseverance have to be your watchwords. Thank you very much for viewing. I am open for direct, personal, and 100% private tarot readings, live over the internet and telephone, via the webpage nickdutchtarot.com. You can also catch me via keen.com, The Circle, and I also do text message chat on the Fortunica app. So if you want to download that and have Nick Dutch available for you, I'm more than happy to help that way too. But remember, those will be private readings, not general readings. Those will be specific readings to specific questions about your energetic well-being, maybe, about your family life, about your friendships, about your relationships, about the complex, nuanced conversations you have about people who are close to you and with you, and things which genuinely matter to the longer term future for yourself. Some people ask about their house purchases. Some people ask about all manner of things. Obviously, I'm not allowed to read upon medical matters, pregnancy, childbirth, and the like. There are a few legal restrictions against me, and I obey the letter of the law in my industry. But be at peace, because this is a good reading for you. Thank you very much. Keep following.